Hello and welcome to the show Hot Spots on CTV. This is a show that brings you in-depth analysis, happenings and updates in the sporting world. I am Emmanuel Bafok. I have a guest with me in the person of Jide, and Jide will be talking with us about the recent happenings in the world of sports. Jide, what's up? How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Bafog. It's nice being on the show with you once again.
Okay, let's just go into the business of the day, shall we? We have some talking points that we want to discuss on the show today. Let's first off, I know of your Ghanaian ancestry as well, and this is a kind of banter to you. How did you feel when the Super Eagles beat Ghana on Friday?
I'm sure you understand that if Nigeria lost, I would still be happy. Since Ghana lost also, I'm still happy because I can still switch from Nigeria to Ghana, from Ghana to Nigeria.
Yeah. So okay, let's go into that game deeply, shall we? That game was Finidi George's first game in caretaker capacity for the Super Eagles, and he won that game 2-1 courtesy of a penalty from Cyril Desas and a winning goal from Ademola Lookman. So let's talk about Finidi George, shall we? Finidi George.
Yes.
It's a nice victory for him in caretaker capacity. It's a nice victory for him. The tactics he used, the formation he used, and the style of play that he adopted. The style of play that we saw on show was an attacking approach. To the one that Jose Pesero normally uses, which is the defensive approach, and he got his reward when they won that game. And even these guys came out to say, Cyril Desas came out to say that this is the way that they want the Super Eagles to be playing. You can say that's a subtle jibe at Jose Pesero, but he said this is the way that the Super Eagles are meant to be playing. What do you have to say about that?
Well, for me, I think every player definitely have their own opinion about how they feel they should play and all. But for me, I feel the reason why Desas is talking this way is because definitely if it was a white coach that we were using or we were still with, I definitely do not see Desas starting any game. I definitely do not even see him getting a call up. Do you understand? So for me, I feel he's more of trying to like find favor in the sight of Finidi himself, and more like trying to say if Finidi continues with this managerial position, definitely he's going to be among the lineup. He will be coming from the bed definitely, because when the likes of Osimhen is starting the match, then he himself, but he already understands that he would be in the call up no matter what. So for me, I think it's more of trying to like find favor in the sight of Finidi.
You said something interesting there about finding favor in the presence of the new coach. Many players played their all on that. I think Finidi George could give himself a pat on the back, given the fact that he went with a strong side, even though some regulars were not there, but he went with a strong side against the Ghanaians and he got a 2-1 win. Many players had a lot to prove on that day. Like, they have a lot to play for, because who knows, Finidi George might end up being the permanent Super Eagles manager. No one can say for now, but at this point in time, they are all having their auditions as well, because if it's not Finidi George, then it might be Emmanuel Amunike in the hot seat, and Emmanuel Amunike too will be looking as to who is playing with their whole heart for the national team. And you mentioned something earlier on about favoritism. Because Desas is in the call-up now, and is looking for favors from the likes of Finidi George and potentially the next Super Eagles manager. Which other player do you think should play for their shirts in that national team setup?
Well, for me, I think we already have a formidable lineup. the lineup that went with Parcero to the AFCON. I feel, for me, to be very, very honest, I feel that lineup is a wonderful lineup. All we just lack in that lineup is understanding the style of play. Because for me, I do not see the Nigerian Super Eagles to be a team that is set up to play in a defensive way, whereby we probably go more on counter attacks. I feel like we are a team that, yes, we have good players on the flanks, both at the forward line and at the back line, that can do wonders. We can play the style in which, whereby we let all our players be attack minded, and yes, we leave our defenders to more like do their own duty. So for me, I think all the players that went with Pesero to the AFCON, they are all good and okay. And one player that I always love to see is Ademola Lookman. He's one player that most of us really do not see what he offers. But when he was getting the goals in the AFCON, we were all looking at Osimhen, that we were expecting Osimhen to get the goals. But there are different types of strikers. There's the there's the Lookman type of striker, and there's the Osimhen type of striker. Osimhen is the type of striker that definitely is more like the Haaland. Do you understand? But for Lookman is more like the Aubameyang, the Fernando Torres, you understand? Players that they will not just stay at the forward line expecting someone to just give them the ball and they slot it in. I'm not saying Osimhen is a bad striker. Definitely, you need to know how to even put the ball into the net. So for me, I think Lookman is one player that I would definitely want to see every time. I think from the midfield, I don't think we have a solid midfield now, and I think that's what we need to work on presently. And I will be super amazed if we can get midfield from our own NPFL league, like players that they understand. We should check the league well. We understand that players that know how to hold the midfield, because when we look out there, we can't really put all our mind on Iwobi. We could see what happened to Iwobi in the last AFCON, because we were not praising him when he was getting all the assists, all the passes, but the ones he was now missing out. You understand? He now made it look like he was the one who spots the whole way the team played in the AFCON final.
You mentioned the midfield. Indeed, he came back into that side in that game, and he'll be looking to start again against Mali. And according to reports that I've been seeing this morning, Finidi George is going to field a much more stronger side again. Because normally it's a friendly, and also it is also his audition period. It's also his audition period where the NFF chiefs are looking at him whether he can handle this national team or not. So there is no time to take risk at this point in time. It's about fielding the strongest side possible yet again, so that he can convince his bosses that he has what it takes to lead the national team. So Mali will be facing Mali tomorrow at 9 p.m. Nigerian time. So irrespective to that game, what approach do you think Finidi George will go with again?
Well, I think the Malians are quite a different team from the Ghanaian side. I think the Malians went more further in the AFCON that we had. The Ghanaians, because looking at the Ghanaian team, I definitely was expecting Nigeria to win the friendly. Yes, I know it's the friendly, but there is no friendly when it comes to Nigeria versus Ghana play. You understand? And I believe that the players themselves, they understood the rivalry between the Ghanaians and they themselves. So you understand? So they went into the game ready and not to play the ball. But for the Malians have always been like they've been there for a whole lot longer now. Like they always bring in players, young lads, to always fill in the position of the legs that are already going out. You understand? So for me, I think it is understandable for Finidi to actually feed in a more stronger side than the one he fielded for the Ghanaians. And as you mentioned there also, you made mention of the fact that it's an audition. Yes, he understands that if he won the first match against Ghanaians, and Nigerians are like, I think Finidi is good for the job. Finidi is good for the job. So definitely you want to win against Mali, so that we'll just cement our statement and say we think Finidi is good for the job. But you know the way these things work. I feel like the Nigeria Football Federation themselves, they already have their choice of coach already. They are just trying to, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe cover the ground so that the place doesn't look empty. Because for me, I feel like Finidi himself wants the job, but he knows deep down himself that it is not something that he can get easily, because he is still with the Enyimba football team. That's the club team that he's coaching. He's still with Enyimba. And for me, I feel like if he wants that job, I think the first step he needs to take is actually to resign from. But you know, he has to see the green light from the coaching job for the Super Eagles before he drops the one that is feeding him.
Exactly. And as well, let me bring to your notice, he could multitask and coach the Nigerian national football team, and at the same time coach the Enyimba football club. And by that, Enyimba players in the likes of Chijoke Mbauma and Pascal Cooper can even actually have a chance of getting into the Nigerian national team. Alright, moving on to athletics, or let me say the African Games in general. The African Games was concluded on Sunday, and Nigeria was placed second in the all-time medal table for the 2023 African Games. You know, Nigeria got a total of 120 medals with 47 golds, 33 silvers, and 40 bronze. You know, the first on the list is Egypt. Egypt has 101 golds, 46 silver, and 42 bronze, totaling in total of 189. And the third on the list is South Africa with a total of 106 medals, 32 golds, 32 silver, and 42 bronze medals. So we got 120 medals across 25 sports at the African Games, and the most productive sport for us in terms of Nigeria's run in that game is weightlifting, because weightlifting produced Nigeria's highest medal haul. You know, the team garnered 32 medals at the sport of weightlifting, 16 golds, 10 silvers, and 6 bronze. Athletics was Nigeria's second most productive sport at the games, with 22 medals won. So let's put our minds together concerning these other sports. You know, is it time for the Ministry of Sports to invest more in other sports as well, in weightlifting and in athletics?
For me, well, but this is a nice question that I feel like you will not be the first sports journalist or a presenter that will be asking, like, not necessarily me, but definitely they will be asking themselves or not. But for me, I think Nigeria as a whole, we are always competitive. We love sports. We love doing this kind of things. That is what we are. But we have a drawback in the sense that we don't have the push that we should get from the government. You understand? And for me, if you look at before now, we've been saying, let me just deviate back to what I'm saying. Do you understand? For the South Africans, do you understand? They have something. They've been playing the MPL. They've been playing their league. Do you understand? And we've been saying they ought to be better. They ought to be better. They ought to be better. And this thing takes time. You understand, right? This thing, it takes more time to more understand. But we saw them in the last AFCON. They came with almost all the players that that they fielded in the AFCON, they were all coming from the South African League. Do you understand? And it's a push. Look at they are third on the African Games. You understand? Because they've been. It's not today, but since the 2010 World Cup that they've hosted, I feel like they've been working on trying to be better. And we as Nigerians ourselves, we have the potential of making this thing work. Do you understand? We have the potential of making this thing work, but we tend to when our leaders, when they come and they campaign, they always more like go into sport and use sport as an avenue for their campaign. Do you understand? So but at the long run, it's not like every one of them loves sports. Do you understand? It's not like every one of them loves sports. So for me, I feel it's really how will I put it? It takes a whole lot, and we our governments, our leaders need to like start putting their all into this kind of thing. And for me, I think it's our natural ability that is even getting all these goals that we want, the medals and all that we want. Do you understand? So for me, I think it's the natural ability of us wanting to fight and all. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand you quite well. And if you look at the sports all across the African Games that we did just now, weightlifting and athletics seems to be the major force for us, because many people enjoyed that weightlifting tournament in Ghana. And let's talk about athletics. So let's talk about the golden girl of athletics in person of Tobi Amusan. Tobi Amusan has really done wonders in athletics when it comes to Nigerian athletics, and you have to say she's the first Nigerian to win the Diamond League. She's the first Nigerian to win a gold at the Commonwealth Games, and now she becomes the first Nigerian to win a hat-trick of 100-meter hurdles at the African Games, following a victory in this year's African Games, the Rabat 2019 and the Brazzaville 2015. So Tobi Amusan, starlet, icon, legend of Nigerian athletics, what do you think is a drive to attaining these championships?
For me, I think a drive is always wanting to win. I always make mention of the fact that if you've tasted victory before, you would always want, you always want that victory every time. Tobi Amusan, for most people, they don't know that Tobi Amusan actually trains abroad. Do you understand? She trains abroad, and she trains with people that really push her. Like, she trains with athletes that push her, and she's always trying to like get better. Now, when I talk about training abroad, she's a Nigerian. Yeah, she might be schooling abroad and all, but at the same time, we as Nigerians, we don't have the facilities like to keep these athletes from like continuous growth. We don't have to go all the way to outside of the nation to like more like push ourselves to compete, because these things we need to have them here ourselves in Nigeria. But for her, she's someone that wants victory. She's someone that she has the drive for the hurdles, for race, you understand? And if you're not in the competition, she ought to have been sent out because of how she started the race at first. But she was lucky enough to get the yellow card. For me, I see it as the judges themselves. They understand that it's just the drive to want to compete that was pushing her. So I'm sure they understood that it was just that drive to want to compete, to want to do this fast and cement our place. And you could see about 12.58 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, that she used to complete. That is not something just anybody can do. That is something that takes a whole lot of sleepless nights, like a whole lot of training, continuous training and all. So for me, I think her drive is she herself, like she always wanting to be better. So for me, I think she did a fantastic job, and we hope to see more from her, definitely.
Yeah, we hope to see more from her, definitely. talking about that particular race, that was the 100 meters hurdles race. She could have been sent off.
Others.
Yes, she could have been sent off in that race. But like you said, I think the organizers and the umpires were looking at the drive behind her motive. They know that she normally doesn't do that. They know that she normally
Yes.
doesn't go ahead of the gun. But she got a yellow card,
Yeah.
and then I love what she did thereafter when she got that yellow card. She went back to the track. She prepped herself again. She was intimidating her opponents with her let me borrow this word, antics. She was intimidating her
Yeah.
opponents with her training skills and all, and then she got back on the set, through which the umpire called for the race, and then she took off to win her third consecutive gold medal at the African Games in that particular event. What do you see in Toby Amoson that other Nigerian athletes doesn't seem to have?
To be honest, I think every other athlete have what the like every other athlete have the drive just as Toby Amusho does. But one thing like I made mention of earlier is the fact that like there are no facilities for training. There are no push. Do you understand? There are nobody that would like push you. You understand? See, like we can make we in a local place. You can keep competing with your locals. With your locals. When you start beating them, you will need to more like advance to the next stage. You need to like more like go internationally to just compete, more of a friendly. Do you understand? Just to see how far, just to be sure that you are not just a local champion. You understand? So for me, I think the difference between Amusho and the likes is the fact that maybe the likes do not have the opportunity to more like go outside on their own will, because for me I feel like Toby Amusho is the one sponsoring everything possible. Yes, and I'm not. This is not even a mistake when I say almost all the athletes in the African Games, most of them got there through sponsors, through support from different organizations, even from their own pockets. Do you understand? So for me, I think this thing you can't continue. You are trying to represent a nation, and the nation is not giving you the 100% backup that you want. Do you understand? That one alone is a pushback. So for me, but Toby Amusho is always continuously, no matter whatever it is that she's facing, she's always wanting to do better. But you cannot ask too much from us, from the athletes themselves, especially when the nation is not giving them 100% backup.
Yeah, especially the fact that Toby Amoshon as well. Mentioned earlier that she trains in the United States of America, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
quite easy for her to access these things. But for all those
yeah.
athletes who doesn't have this privilege, what can you say? What can you say? Like, how would they go about their way? Because you look at it, most of these people don't have the backings, the funds. They might have someone
Yeah,
funding them now at the African Games, but mind you, the 2024 Paris Olympics is coming up in the summer as well.
yeah.
If they can't afford these African Games, how would they then afford to go to Paris to compete for Team Nigeria?
That's the major concern now for me. I
Mm.
feel like if we cannot give our support 100% to these athletes, they are doing this for the nation. At the end of it all, yes, it's their name, but at the back of their name, their nationality will be green, white, green, which is the Nigerian nationality.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like they need more support. These things are not easy. Like for instance, if you compete for Nigeria and you get a certain amount of money, that money should not be money that you use to more like waste on training yourself. You should be more money to like take care of yourself, maybe take care of your family and all. But this money, they will just keep using the money to like try to be better. So for me, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like the government needs to do more. I feel everything is all up to the government. Everything is all up to the government. I feel the government needs to do more. I could remember the wrestling, what's it called? the taekwondo, that's the wrestling.
Yes.
We only have one wrestling training facility, and it's in I cannot remember the state presently. We only have one, and that one, it is because the sports is because he also participated in that competition once in his life. So he was interested in it. So he got the urge to more like provide that facility for his fellow citizens, so that they can have interest in it. So I feel, for me, if other government officials themselves can find a place for sports in their heart, because I know most of all these our leaders, most of them, they don't really fancy sports. They just use it more for campaign. But if you can see people that are sports inclined, that are sports lovers, you understand, so that they should put their heads together and create facilities for these people, they will do better. They will do better. Look at the Egyptians, look at the gap, you understand. So for me, if you continue this way, I feel like the likes of South Africa, they can even top us along the line.
Well, it's a rallying cry to our leaders, to support these athletes, in their pursuit of greatness for the nation. We can never ask for much more. They are sacrificing themselves for the betterment of our country, and when that flag is being hoisted up high, it will be the green, white, green flag of Nigeria, and not the green, white, green flag of any individual, but rather the whole nation. Before I let you go, Jide, the 2024 Paris Olympics is coming up in the summer, and once again, Toby Amusan is likely to be the torchbearer for Team Nigeria. What are your expectations for the Paris 2024 Olympics for Team Nigeria?
My expectations are definitely, it's just going to be like the African Games. Well, we tried our best. I feel like we tried our best, to be very honest, to take the second position in the African Games. I feel like we can still give more. I feel like it's even a good one that we use this one to do more like, we just use to do more like training, to see the future, that we can actually do better. For me, to be emotional in our own category, I see no problem in the tennis category. Also, I see us as real competitors in the wrestling, taekwondo. I see us to be competitors too. The other categories that I cannot really mention everything now, I see it to be more like the drive, the facility that these people lack is really what, because we are not the only one that is preparing this much. You see some national names. Their names alone will tell you that these people, you should not take them lightly. And I feel like we ourselves, we're supposed to be in that list, but we've not put ourselves there, because those other nations, they put themselves there. So for me, I feel we have some categories that we can win gold, and I wish we win more gold this time around than the last Olympic. I'm just positive that we can do better.
Likewise, all Nigerians are positive that we can do better at this Paris 2024 Olympics. You mentioned some sports. You mentioned you mentioned athletics. You mentioned wrestling. You mentioned weightlifting, and these are sports. These are categories where we can at least get two gold medals from, and Toby Amusan will be key to Nigeria's chances of raking up some gold medals in Paris 2024 Olympics. Thank you so much for your contribution, Jide. It's been a really, really nice time having you on the show, and I hope that next time you could come with your A game, as you always do when we call upon you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's really nice doing this.
All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's all we have for you on the show today, and I hope that you really enjoyed every bit of it. For more updates on sports, tune in to CTV, and as we bring you more updates concerning athletics, cycling, wrestling, weightlifting, and of course, football. I am Emmanuel Ayomide Bafog. Until next time, do have yourself a wonderful day. Bye.